Predictive analytics is one of those things that often gets overhyped. Let's look at some common misconceptions around what has essentially become an industry buzzword, and let's talk about what real predictive analytics means to real people. And speaking of real people, my math teacher said that I was average, which is just mean. I'm Jeff, and this is Off the Charts with Jeff. I'm seeing a lot of outrageous claims when it comes to predictive capabilities for various software vendors. Let's look at some of these and why they might be a little bit of a stretch. One of them I see is that predictive analytics is some new fancy technology that you need to buy. Wrong. This concept of predicting has really been around for probably over 100 years. And one of the most talked about examples was back in the 1930s, where they started using your credit score to model whether or not people would pay your debts. This isn't a new concept, and this isn't a new thing. Going out and buying a BI tool that claims to have insane predictive features isn't going to find some hidden indicator that your decision makers didn't know existed. Don't fall for the marketing hype. There isn't anything new here. What's new is the ability for people to more accurately collect, store, and process historical data over potentially extensive data sets to help them discover insights that would lead to better predictive models. In the past, it was a burden to work with larger data sets because they didn't have the tools to go ahead and process all of this. There is a significant improvement here on that side. Another one that I see is that predictive analytics magically knows the answer. It doesn't. There's no such thing as software that can look at your data and tell you what's going to happen. Maybe in the future when AI becomes more than it is now, but we're just not there yet. Now you may be thinking, well, I've seen applications that are able to spit out insights. What are you talking about? Well, these automatic insights aren't predictive. Instead, they highlight statistics or interesting trends that a human should take a further look at to really understand what's going on. Predictive analytics isn't a replacement for understanding your business. You still need people to take these hints, dig deeper, and verify everything. Another claim is that analytics is complicated, and maybe you even need a PhD in statistics and data science to do it. And while I don't want to underestimate the value that these people can bring, analytics for most people will tend to lead towards the simplistic. As an example, if you look at history, they say that history is one of the best predictors of the future. We can make a prediction based on what we've already seen. Do sales typically spike 10 to 20% around December? Well, probably it's reasonable to assume that you're going to see the same bump. Are sales generally up on the year? Well, we can factor that in as we're making our educated guess. A lot of this comes down to just adding the variables that you've already had in order to model out a prediction. Using something like history that's already available and adding it to the typical cycle that you have with monthly results can be something that just about anybody can accomplish if they sit down with the data. Another misconception that I've seen is that people tend to think that predictive is a one-size-fits-all thing. There's no single algorithm that will magically solve all predictive problems. The reality about predictive is that BI tools should provide you with various options to allow for modeling. These might include forecasting tools, classification and scoring capabilities, cluster analysis, or even simple what-if functionality. People are still a major part of the overall picture, and it's up to them to mobilize a large set of tools to solve predictive problems, not a magical press of the button that's going to give you everything that you need. Now, one other claim is that big data is going to be able to predict everything when it comes to AI. And considering most companies that I talk to can barely visualize basic operation data due to the mess of data integrity issues that they have in their database, I doubt it. Let's say that you have the best AI in the world and you're feeding in garbage data. Well, you're in for some interesting predictions indeed. Don't get me wrong, I for one welcome our new AI overlords, but we're not at the point where you can just hook these systems up to your business and it will magically fix all the trash that's in your database, then start spitting out and suggesting how you can increase your bottom line 20-fold. One day, hopefully. As you can see, the BI industry is undoubtedly making some bold claims, and I don't doubt that one day we will get there, but let's temper expectations a little bit. Think about it more as a set of features that I mentioned, rather than a silver bullet that will solve all your problems. If you do want to learn a little bit more about things that will help with predictive, I recommend that you take a look at a video that we did called Databases Are Trash Cans. This is all about how I alluded to your source data probably has a lot of issues that's going to prevent you from making that next step into predictive. Take a look, hope you like it, and thanks for watching.